Hello Wolfpack fans and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm your host Sam McDade alongside Wolfpack in-game announcer and host of the podcast Howlin' Hour, Rob Cardno. We're at Northern Maverick for today's viewing party and our Pack pregame show.
Well, the Wolfpack have an exciting match coming up against the Batley Bulldogs. Leading up to kickoff, we're going to be discussing everything Wolfpack. And a little while later, stay tuned, I'll be sitting down with Toronto Wolfpack owner David Arglye to go over anything and everything that's been going on with the team the last few weeks.
We know you're ready to party this St. Patrick's Day, and the Toronto Wolfpack are ready to party right along with you. Last week, they played an untelevised match against Toulouse, and we have those highlights ready for you here today. Take a look.
We're here at the Northern Maverick Brewing Company for the St. Patrick's Day viewing party. Sam is off looking for some fans to talk to. I'm downstairs enjoying the festivities. So let's take a look at the 2019 season so far. Right away, Brian McDermott comes in, an experienced and accomplished coach, coming in with a boatload of new players, Meller, Wilkin, Gadwin Springer, Ricky Latelli, of course, but just an all-round strong squad. We got some great forwards, Ashton Sims, Bodine Thompson, Darcy Lussick. We've seen the halfback pairings change quite a bit. We started the year with Blake Wallace and Joe Meller. Meller got hurt. Josh McCrone has shifted from the halves to hooker every once in a while when Bob Bezic was out. So the Wolfpack have suffered quite a few injuries this year. Guys are going to have to step up and fill in. Right now, we're going to hear from some of those injured Wolfpack players to find out about their status.
I was hoping to get back for the start of the season. Obviously, I had a bit of a setback with my specialist. So now, hopeful for probably around back end of April, maybe first game in Toronto if I'm lucky. So, you know, I've got air cast on at the minute, so get this off Friday and then however long it takes me to get back running. I mean, if I can get back for the first game over there, you know, I'll be buzzing for that. So, you know, we play you know, a lot of games in England, and when we get to Toronto, it's a completely different kettle of fish. So we're looking forward to getting over there.
Yeah, look, things are going great. Started running this week. I'll definitely be back for Halifax next week, and you know, I'm really looking forward to it. I've missed the last 3 weeks now, which sucks, but a couple of weeks off, you get that you know, that fire back again, and I want to be out there with the lads.
So I've just started running, so I'm in that phase of straight line running at the minute. So nice to get out at gym. I've been looking at the same four walls for the last couple of months, so it's nice to see a bit of greenery under my feet. I'm aiming for around June, back end of June I reckon is most likely date. So I'm just starting to change the direction, so I need to start seeing if I can still step off my left boot. That's sort of the next phase, and then I'll be slowly drip fed into training with the team.
Well, good to hear from those guys, and we're wishing a speedy recovery to all of them. Now we have a couple more player updates to fill you in on. Joe Meller, he's been doing his rehab, he's feeling good. He is probably about 4 or 5 weeks away though. Joe's a really important member of the team. We're really hoping he gets back soon.
Bob Bezic is dealing with a muscle strain in his thigh. Bodie Thompson is working through a muscle strain in his lower leg. It may be a few weeks before we see either of them back on the field.
Once again, we're wishing a speedy recovery to all those guys. Now, we're going to go find Sam, who's going to take you through some of the festivities here today at Northern Maverick.
Thanks, Rob. I'm downstairs at Northern Maverick for today's very special St. Patrick's Day viewing party. Northern Maverick has pulled out all of the stops. It's everything Irish today, from traditional pies to special prices on stouts and Irish whiskey. There are a ton of giveaways to be expected, starting off with the first 100 fans that make it through the door are receiving a limited edition Northern Maverick Toronto Wolfpack t-shirt. And if you stick around past the game, you can expect more contest giveaways, Toronto Wolfpack trivia, as well as live music from our DJ, because it wouldn't be a Wolfpack event without some rockin' tunes. It is definitely a party here at Northern Maverick, and the Wolfpack fans, they're enjoying the festivities. We'll send it back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Sam. I'm here with the man that put together all of these festivities, the owner of Northern Maverick, Jason Captain. How are you?
I'm great and excited to be hosting today.
Well, first of all, why don't you tell us how you got started with the Wolfpack? How did you hear about the team? How did you get interested?
Well, when the team was first announced, we were excited to learn that a team was just coming, down the road from our new venture. But then we heard that the Wolfpack intended on serving local beer and partnering with local businesses. This was a big step for professional franchises. So something that spoke true to what we do, and it was a natural partnership.
What does this partnership look like? What are the things you're trying to do with the team?
Well, we're happy this year to be working with Ricky, who obviously plays center for the Wolfpack.
Ricky Latelli, who you're sponsoring.
Absolutely. We're looking forward for Ricky to come back from overseas so we can spend some time together, but in the meantime, he's got a job to do.
So you're going to do something on Friday nights before each game for some of the visiting fans. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
We're going to hold a few special events, some new beers for them, some new food dishes, and hopefully just show them a good time, what Toronto has to offer in terms of hospitality.
Why don't you maybe just run over some of the beers you guys do here? Ales, pale ales, lagers, what are you doing? You got a bit of everything?
Sure. Basically, as a small microbrewery, we have the ability to make a ton of different beers in a year. I think last year we did just over 50. So we make a variety of beers and it changes every week. So if you're a regular and you like to come back, we have something for you each time you come.
Okay, so you mentioned the craft beer, the beer garden, one of the most famous things about the team. We're going to see you down there?
Absolutely. I'll be there not only pouring beer, I think we're in the garden for 6 games this year, but also as a fan. It's one of the best patios in Toronto and one of the best places to be on game days.
You're here to provide meat pies.
For sure. All I've been hearing about for the last 3 weeks is pies in a pint and getting it before games. We'll make sure it's good and we look forward to hosting a lot of the fans.
Well, we're really looking forward to this partnership. We got tons of things going on downstairs. It seems like a lot of fun. And I imagine this entire season, there's going to be a lot of fun things going on with Northern Maverick.
Absolutely. We look forward to being the headquarters for all things Wolfpack in the coming season.
All right. Well, thank you once again, Jason, for joining us. We'll see you later on the year. We're now going to throw it back to Samantha, who had a conversation earlier with the Wolfpack Strategic Partnership Executive, Audrey Bauman, to talk a little bit more about this partnership.
Thanks, Rob. I'm here alongside Audrey Bauman, the woman behind strategic partnerships for the Toronto Wolfpack. So maybe she can let us in a little bit on why the Toronto Wolfpack wanted to partner with Northern Maverick.
Yeah, so anyone who's been out to a Wolfpack game, Wolfpack fans who've come on out or checked out our social media, you know that we love beer, and specifically we love craft beer. And when we came to evaluating 2019 and our beer garden, we were like, what other exciting partners can we invite out to join us in the beer garden and also to help welcome our fans for 2019? And that's really what excited us about working with Northern Maverick.
So now strategic partnerships, Audrey.
Yes.
Let's talk about what the Toronto Wolfpack and what you are looking for in a partner.
Yeah, so the Wolfpack, we work to support organizations on all scales, small, large, corporations, family-run local ones, and we want to use our platforms, both here in Toronto and in the UK, use our game day experience, our fan base, to help elevate those organizations and to help them grow within the community, and that's where most of our partnerships stem from.
Now, Audrey, it's been a while since the Wolfpack's last home game, and a lot has been happening behind the scenes, and I'm hoping you can let us in, because the Wolfpack fans, we want to know what's been going on with ventures with the Wolfpack in the last year.
Yeah, it's been an exciting off-season. We've really been able to continue the work that we started in 2018 with a lot of communities, including a lot of nonprofit groups. For example, we recently worked with Kill It With Kindness, which came out in 2018 to one of our games, and we asked our fans to help us raise money to donate a friendship bench. And about 2 weeks ago, we were able to go to the school and donate the friendship bench, and that just shows us how our fan base really supports the causes we get behind. We had a special guest, Mayor Tory, was able to come out and support us as well, and we donated that friendship bench to the school, and that's a good example of how the work that we start during the season, we're able to carry on during the off season and welcome those partners back again for 2019.
Wonderful. Audrey, thank you so much for catching up with me
Thank you.
at Northern Maverick. Now let's go back to Rob after hearing about all the ventures the Toronto Wolfpack has been working on in the past year. Rob.
Thanks, Sam. That was a great presentation of the Friendship Bench at the St. Mary Catholic School the other day. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the owner of the Toronto Wolfpack, David Arglye. How are you?
Good, Manny. How are you?
Good. So a lot of questions for you. Why don't we start with just your general thoughts on the Wolfpack? We've always said this is a 5-year plan. We're about 2.5 years into this. What are your thoughts on the team so far in 2019, and you know how far we've come in the 2+ years?
Well, I think the first 2 years have been wonderful. Obviously, it was disappointment not winning the £1 million game. The momentum is still there, and 2019 we've got off to a great start. Every match is a challenge, and we can take nothing for granted.
So one of the things about this season, we're expecting a lot of fans coming over from the UK, as many as maybe 5,000 we're thinking. What are these fans going to expect? What are Toronto fans going to expect when they come to games this year?
Toronto is, I think, the best city in the world. The people are nice. There are so many activities to do. The food and the bar culture here is fantastic. I'm on the road 200 plus days a year.
Wow.
So but coming back to Toronto is I feel this is superb as a city.
2018, you mentioned the £1 million game. I don't want to go over it too much, but maybe just your thoughts on the entire 2018 season and how it finished.
Look, I mean, credit to the Broncos. The Broncos, I think, on the day they certainly deserved to win. I think their change in strategy for the game day was wonderful. We didn't anticipate it, so the coaching from the Broncos was great, and the dedication and the commitment for the Bronco players, tackle, was superb, and they shut us down. Sports is exciting, and so a favorite wins and a favorite doesn't win, and on that day, we were the favorite and we didn't win. But we're back, I think stronger now. I think the changes at the club level have been, very, very important. I think the new roster of players, I think is good. I think Brian McDermott adds another dimension on the coaching side. So I think we're on a journey, and we want as many people to join us on this journey as possible.
So next year they're going to be ready for us?
This is a great transition year, for us to get ready for Super League. So it'll be fun. Like we hope we bring excitement to the game, and this is a great game, and we see it not just on our broadcast numbers in Canada, but around the world.
If there was a New York or an American team, it would help us?
I think a second North American team is very important. It just comes down to which team, which city, and the timing.
In 3 years, will there be another one?
Yes.
Do you see a world one day with like an 8-team North American league where Toronto are playing them?
I believe that we're very lucky and privileged to be part of the RFL and the competition they've built up over 100 years, playing in England and France. I think it's a real privilege to be part of that league. I think that there will be a developmental league of greater sophistication and a great feeder league into the RFL and the NRL. It will be quite some time before a North American only league can reach the competitive level of what the RFL and the NRL have built over decades.
Okay, so let's get into players a little bit. We don't need to get into specific guys, but you've definitely mentioned you want to bring a star, a marquee player here, possibly a union player here. What about Canadian union players?
With regard to Canadian union players, I think there are some international players that could come across into the Wolfpack. And we have had discussions with a number of agents on those players. So I think it will happen. It's just a question of timing.
So as far as sports go, always just been a rugby guy?
Rugby is my passion.
Yeah.
And so it's a wonderful team sport. It's a wonderful way to live your life, through the rugby, family and community. I highly encourage, people who like gladiatorial sports, or even like the touch tag, to come out and have a go.
Okay, so we're going to get you out of here. Thanks so much, David, for joining us. We'll definitely do this again. We're now going to throw to the coach, who has some words before today's game.
On the back of an arduous pre-season, a very wet and cold pre-season as well, we are where they expect us to be. The most promising thing is the amount of toughness and resilience we've shown. I've already mentioned it, that had we not had so much of that, it would have been a tougher campaign so far, and you're going to need those things, and they're hard to put in mid-year. Once you're on that treadmill of the season, week in, week out, it's crazy the amount of time you don't get to spend with your players because of recovery and because of build-up to games. So the fact that we've already shown a real good spine of determination and will to win, it puts us in great stead for sure. I think what we've seen so far this year, and one of the recent coaches that we've played against has just quoted it, is that we are every other team's cup final, and we've got to bring our top end game every single week. And if we're off, let's hope it's just one or two players are off, not the whole team. So against Batley, it's going to be a tough encounter. It's over at Craven Park. We played Hull KR over there in a warm-up game, so we're very familiar with the journey over there and the ground. So we'll certainly be facing a very tenacious Batley team for sure.
Do you feel it's a disadvantage to have played so many games away from Toronto at the start of this season?
No, I don't feel it's a disadvantage. It's a dynamic of being at the club. We can't go play over in Canada because it's minus 55 and 4 foot of snow. So that's just how it is, and we knew that. We knew that to start with. So we've planned accordingly, and we knew we were going to be on the road for such a long period of time. There's something about being on the road, and one of my old mentors, Tony Ray, once said this to me, that people go on about being away, playing away games so much. When you play away, you spend so much time in either hotels, on buses, on the road. You do develop a better bond. So what a great way of starting the season and spending, what is it, 3 months almost playing on the road. So some challenges within that for sure. I wouldn't call them disadvantages though. Well, certainly the players were looking forward to getting back over there. I haven't been there yet, but really looking forward to going. Heard so much about the place, heard so much about the people and the fans. I've never been to Canada myself, so it's what most coaches in the game, in Super League are doing this year, is staring down the barrel of a number of times up and down the M62 with an odd journey to London and an odd journey to France. We're going to go to Canada for 2 or 3 times, and a lot of people have already said, how are you going to handle the travel? And it's such a crazy thing to say because, travelling today is easy, isn't it? You just get on the plane and, you get off at the other side, don't you? We're not swimming there. So, really looking forward to it. It's a dynamic which excites us all.
Well, we're getting close to kickoff, so let's go to our Air Transat player profiles for today's game. Ricky Latelli, what can you say about this guy? He might be the most talented player in the championship. He's got a ton of NRL experience. He moves the ball well. He's a strong defender. He's played an NRL final. Ricky is definitely a force and somebody that other teams are going to have to game plan for. Andrew Dixon. This is what I'd say about Andrew Dixon. If you ask people around the team who their favorite player is, a lot of people are going to say Andrew Dixon. The volume of work this guy puts in on a field is unprecedented. He's all over the place. Plays some loose forward, can play some second row. Just a lunch pail guy, shows up to work every day and gets his job done. Adam Sidlow, the big bad Sid. In a team full of huge guys, he's probably the biggest one. Solid, consistent. The game against the Leeds Centurions was his 50th consecutive game played, which is absolutely ridiculous for a forward in rugby league. So Sidlow, strong, with or without the ball, an absolute force in the middle for the pack. Matty Russell, compact, pocket rocket, little muscly winger. He scored 4 tries in a game. He's a tough guy to tackle. You've seen him help out in the middle. He's regularly carrying 3 guys with him, finishing on the ends for us. Great guy to watch out for, Matty Russell. Gareth O'Brien, the fullback, I think one of the MVPs of this season so far. He's got over 100 games of Super League experience. We've seen what he could do last year. Under pressure, catches balls, drop kicks, goals, fills in on the line when he needs to, game-saving tackles. What else can you say about Gaz O'Brien, one of the best guys on the team? Well, that was our Air Transat player profile of the game. We're getting very close to kickoff, and we've got a special message from a couple members of the Toronto Wolfpack.
Just wanted to say a quick hello to all our fans all around the world from 2 Irish internationals. I want to say everyone have a happy and great St. Patrick's Day.
On that note, it's time to watch the Toronto Wolfpack in action against the Batley Bulldogs. We want to thank you so much for tuning in to our first ever Pack pregame show.
In order to watch today's game, please refer to the caption that accompanies this live stream to see what the options are in your region.
Thank you to everyone here joining us at Northern Maverick Brewing Co. On behalf of my co-host, Rob Cardno, the Toronto Wolfpack, and myself, Sam McDade, we want to wish you a safe and happy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy the game.